Hi there everybody, it's UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator Halsey here from slimandstylish.stampinup.net, and I'm here with the Warms My Heart Cling stamp set. Again today I have fallen in love with this set, and today I'm making me a Christmas card. So I'm going to be doing this girl with her wreath. She looks so happy, doesn't she, ready for Christmas, which is lovely, and I'm stamping her down on my basic white. And then I'm going to be colouring her. So I'm stamping her with my Memento ink. Let me explain why for those who are new to alcohol blend colouring. So if you're using alcohol markers, alcohol moves alcohol. That's how come our light and dark blends in so well, and how you can also mix colours to make different textures and patterns, because alcohol moves alcohol. So if you are stamping, you need to use a water-based stamp pad with alcohol markers, as it will keep the ink on the paper and not let it move and not let it bleed. Okay, our water-based ink pad is Memento. We also have an alcohol-based ink pad which is StazOn. Now if you use that with the blends, it will merge in. It does create a cool effect, but it's not a clean and crisp effect. So you are better to use Memento. So what would you use with StazOn? Well, because StazOn is alcohol marker and water moves water, you want to use your water-based tools. So that would either be using the ink from our water-based ink pads, using our Stampin' Write markers, or using your watercolour pencils. Hopefully that helps if you're coming to colouring. So you can see I'm just using a mix of colours here to build up the background. I love wild wheat. And I know that's really controversial. Lots of people when it first came out hated it and were like, ugh. I loved it from the get-go. And I know some people have been brought round to it now, but I just think it's like a cool gold colour. I like it, but I think that's how you can personalise your cards, is using the bits that you like. Not everyone has to like the same. So I have just popped in the different colours going in, and you can use whichever colours you want to as well. For her face and for her hands, I've used the skin tone blends. So we have a whole range of skin tone blends that help you create the skin tone that you need on any of your pictures. You can put one down, you can put more than one down, you can build it up. You can see I've used a couple on her. And then finally, I put her in jeans because I'm always in jeans and I feel they make me happy. So they're going to make her happy. I'm then going to be fussy cutting her out. Now, one of the things I like to do when I'm fussy cutting, which makes me look a pro, I feel, but it's really simple to do, and does make it look a lot neater and makes it look like you've done something right, is to actually put some colour around her. It's a really simple trick. Okay, so I'm using the light wild wheat, and I'm going to go around and I'm going to do a halo around her, okay, and you'll see what I mean. I'm just using the brush and I'm passing the ink all the way around her, so she's got probably about 1/2 centimetre. That way, when I fussy cut her out, she's not going to have a white halo outside of her line, okay? And people won't notice then if I have made a mistake. So it makes it look like I've been really smooth, not jittery, that I've done it even all the way around. Whereas, truth be told, if you get up close and you properly look, I won't have done. But it just makes it look good when you're putting it onto a card. So if you want a simple trick when you're fussy cutting, just give yourself a little bit of a shadow around the actual person so you don't get the white halo from the cardstock when you cut it. Okay, I'm sorry it's a little bit off screen, but don't worry, I do move it back up when I do the rest. It's just so I could see what I was cutting. I didn't want to cut her piggies off. Okay, so once you've done that, you have got your image nice and clean. You can start to look at how you're going to position up the rest of the card. And again, I'm so sorry about this fussy cutting. I wanted to make sure I got it right, and I brought it close to me so I could do it. But there you are, all finished. Now, I love this DSP. This is in the online exclusive section of my website. It is the green and gold DSP. It's foiled, it's beautiful, it's 12 by 12. There's lots of gorgeous patterns on it. And it's one of my favourite DSPs at the moment, especially in the run up to Christmas. So I'm going to be putting her on there because the colours I've used match that nicely. but it also camouflages her. So I am going to be getting a little banner of basic white, and I'm going to be using that in the middle to put behind her to make her stand out. Otherwise you just can't see her on that card. So she's going to sit like that on my panel of basic white. I do need a sentiment. I like this one. In fact, I like most of the sentiments in this set, and I really like the font that's with them. They're all fun and they're all curvaceous. But Deck the Halls is always fun around Christmas, isn't it? Okay. And you can then cut that out, or you can create it as a thick strip. I didn't do it straight, and I didn't want to cut round all the writing. I wanted it to be a panel, so I needed it to be straight. Okay, so I redid it. That's the best thing about paper. There's two sides of it, so you can always turn it over and you can do the next size. And you can see I've cut it down to be quite a thin panel there, and I can pop that then across the card as well. So now we have a bit of adhering, but before we did, I went down a really silly route and I decided to put a frame onto my basic white. I can tell you why in my head I thought this was a good idea. It was because my sentiment had been stamped in black, but there was no other black on the card. So I thought I would give a black frame, which would hopefully tie it in and make it look a bit more reasonable. And you can see where I'm going with that. And then very quickly I decided I didn't like it. So I'm a pain in the backside, aren't I? But I really wasn't that keen. So I decided to then do some alterations. Wasn't keen on the alterations either. And you'll find that when the card actually gets stuck together, I stick it the other way around. Like I said, there's two sides to paper, and you don't always have to use the side you want. So that was a bit of a wasted exercise. And this is me working out that I just prefer it clean and clear. I'm daft, aren't I? So I'm sticking that down. Whoever receives this, so you know there is a frame on the underside that no one knows about. And I'm going to stick her down as well. I'm not using dimensionals for any of this. I'm going to keep her flat and keep the background flat because I've already got the halo around her. So she would already look like she's got a bit of a shadow and that she's standing off it, but it will help with mailing. And then I'm going to use my dimensionals here for the sentiment, and you can see that I'm using, or you can't see unfortunately, I'm doing it down the bottom, but I'm using the sides of the dimensionals as a whole strip so it stands it up nice and proud. And once again I apologize that it's off the camera. I'm sure you guys have all heard me mention this a million times now, but I've got a new desk which is wider than my old one, and in my head I feel I can still film in the same place, and when the video is finished I'm just off shot, so I do apologize. But there we go. That's pretty much the main essence of this card. I'm just going to add it onto a card base. So I've had a few people ask me about the card bases. They're thick basic white. So we have two basic whites on our offering. We have a normal basic white, which is gorgeous to stamp on, lovely to colour on, really smooth, works really well, but is a bit too thin for creating a card base. So I do all my stamping, inking and decorative detail on the normal basic white, and then I use thick basic white for the card base. I don't do any colouring or stamping on the thick basic white. It just doesn't come across as effective. And here you are. This is the finished card. What do you think? I really like this one. You can get everything I've used today on my website, slimandstylish.stampinup.net, and you can get a closer look of this card over on my Instagram at slimandstylish. If you have enjoyed, please do leave me a comment. I love reading through them, and subscribe for more videos. See you all soon. Bye.